Hi guys, it's Kai with Crazy with Kai or Crafting with Kai and Crafting with Kai's Kreations. I just recently heard about these Brillo wreaths with all items from the Dollar Tree, and so I thought I would do a how-to video and show you guys how I made this one, and I'm going to make more of them. So let's see, this is the finished wreath. And you can do it lots of different ways, but this is the way mine came out, and I really like it. And they're super easy to make, and it costs about, let's see, $4, $5, $6, about $7, $8 at the most to make this. And I'm going to be selling these for $15 on my page. If anybody just doesn't want to make one and doesn't have the time and wants to buy one from me, you can do that too. But anyways, so let me show you. Let me get started here. I will set that aside. So what you're going to need is one of these giant wreath forms from the Dollar Tree. I think it says this is an 18-inch. So it's one of the really big ones, not the regular size ones. So you're going to need one of those. And then you're going to need one of these plates. It doesn't say how big this plate is, but I should have measured it. But they have several different designs. I like this one because it has the light blue and of what it says, and I think it kind of goes, it has the snowflakes, so it kind of goes with the Brillo theme with the snowflakes on it. And the cool thing is these plates fit perfectly in the center of this wreath. So basically, and then what you need also is these. These are the magic of the wreath. The Brillo Basics reusable wipes. I was calling them Brillo pads earlier, but anyways. So you're going to need one of those wreath forms, one of those plates, and about 4 packages of these, the Brillo things, which are all items you can buy at the Dollar Tree. So basically what we're going to be doing is cutting strips of the Brillo wipes and tying them onto here in the different sections, and then hot glue gunning this plate to the center. And I did a little bit on my finished one. I put in some green glitter glue on the magic part and some silver glitter glue on some of the snowflakes just to fancy it up a little bit. And you could add a special bow, you could add a flower, you could add anything you want to this. I just kept mine pretty simple. Like I said, you can see the magic is green glitter, and some of the snowflakes have silver glitter. So that's another thing you might need if you wanted to do that. There's, glitter glue at the Dollar Tree as well. And so that's where I got those. Okay, so for the sections, we're going to cut these into strips. And I will show you how to do that. Let me take these out. Take a couple of them. Take a couple out. I usually take the whole pack out at one time. But okay, so when you pull them out, there's going to be 9 of these in there. And you'll find they're folded in half long ways and the other way. So the first thing I do is I start with the folded edge in my left hand, and then I cut along this middle folded piece to cut them shorter. And with my cuts, I'm not super accurate, but I just take my time and I'm careful, and I get the straightest edge I can get without being super OCD about it. Sometimes I find there's a little leftover edge on these where the folded part underneath is longer. It doesn't really matter. But then what I do is I start cutting strips. And I don't know if you can see. Let's see. I go in for about 1 inch to 1.5 inches at the most. And then again, I cut, like I said, I don't draw lines or anything like that or measure. I just kind of see it by hand and, guesstimate or whatever. And I just cut really slowly so I don't get messed up edges. and it comes out straight enough. And you could have one, let's see, look, you could have one come out super skinny and one come out super thick. When you tie them around the wreath, nobody's going to notice. You're not going to notice that. So that is not a big deal at all. So like I said, I just cut these as straight as I can, and then I'll show you what to do if I, let's see, mess one up. Okay, there we go. So say I messed that edge up, and I don't know if you can see, but it's really jagged. So you just very easily go in with your scissors and fix that super carefully. Like I said, these don't have to be super straight. You just want a nice edge, so that's better. And again, once they're tied on, no one's going to notice. So then what you do is when you get to, let me see, I'm going to cut a couple more of these really quick, just to show you guys the end piece. So when you get to the end piece, obviously it has that folded edge on one side. You could leave it. It really doesn't matter. Again, people probably aren't going to notice, but I notice and I'm OCD about it. So I just go to the other side and cut a little strip off, so it cuts that folded part off, and then this looks just like all the other strips. So just do that. There you go. Looks like all the other strips now. So I do that. It's the only thing about this wreath that's kind of sucky is it is time consuming to cut these all out and then tie them on. But maybe you just want to watch TV and sit and cut 4 packs of these out. Again, there are 9 pads that give you 2 sides each, so essentially 18 sheets that you're going to need. And then you cut those into 1 to 1.5 inch lengths. And then what you do, let me see if I can lower this a little bit. You want to start, I learned the hard way, on the outside edge, because if you start on the inside edge, you end up having to fold them out of your way so you can get to the other sections. So this has 8 sections on it. You see it's divided by these. And let's see, I think there were, okay, you get about 10 to 12 strips per sheet. So again, that's why I said you're going to need about 4 packages. Okay, and the outside circle is 14 of these strips. So the outside circle is 14, the middle circle is 12, and the inner circle is 10. So 10, 12, 14. You could squeeze in a few more on each if you wanted to. I didn't think it needed to be super tight and squeezed in because it comes out pretty full and fluffy as it is. So I think that's perfectly fine. And then, like I said, I'll show you what I do. I literally just tie them on. I put it over, again, starting with the outside edge, like this. Tie it in a double knot. So I tie it 2 times. And then I push it out like this. And like I said, it doesn't look like much, but when you get a bunch of them on there and they start straightening out more, it looks so pretty. You guys saw the pretty finished product. Okay, so let's see. I told you how many in each section. Oh, how to make a loop. Okay, so to make a loop for yours, let's see. I think, was it one of those? I think it was longer. So this time, instead of cutting off that folded edge on the top, when I bring out a new pad, I'm going to cut it lengthways first so that it leaves that folded edge on there. And then it makes, let's see if I can open this properly. Come on. It makes a longer strip. And see, that's where that folded part is. So then, what I do, this is usually once the whole wreath is done, at least the tying on part. And then I go to the outer edge, the middle, one of these bars here, and I basically loop that through like that, and I take it up, and then I tie a knot at the end with the 2 loose pieces. Okay, so you tie a knot at the end there, make it nice and tight like that, and then you can cut off the end if you want, and then you pull it down. So now I've got, let me see, I can show you, I've got that knot right here at the end, and then this loop, but it's loose. So what I do after that is I pull it up so that knot is at the bottom, and I tie another knot on the other side like this and push it down all the way. Just push it down really hard and tighten it really hard. These are pretty hardy, they won't really rip very easily. And there you go, you have a hanger. And when you have your wreath all done, this will blend in with all the others. You won't see it, but it'll be a hook where they can use that to hang it up if they don't want to hang it on the wire part. And then once you finish all that, like I said, this part is a little bit tricky, but not that tricky. But you've got all your strips all the way around it. And what I found is best is to just take your hot glue gun and go around that inner circle on the actual strips, the strips where the knot is, where you tied on that inner circle. Go around and put hot glue all the way around that edge, and then center this really careful, because if you get it up a little bit, you know, then it'll be off centered. You want it to sit right on that center line. So like, see the back of it, it just sits perfectly in that center line. So, but it is a little, see at the bottom, it's a little bit on the edge, it's a little bit small, so you got to make sure you get that glued in. And of course, please don't forget, like I did and had to re-glue, where your tie is, because where your tie is where you want the top of your plate to be. If you put that plate in a different direction, they're not going to be able to use that tie to hang it. So find your tie and put that on there. Then for the bows, or the bow, I did almost the same thing as the loop to hang it with. I cut it long ways, leaving that fold in there. And actually, no, I'm not going to fix it. And then I opened it up. Be careful, because you technically have 4 thin sheets in here. Open it up, and in that fold area, I put that in the middle, and I tie a knot. Just like that. Okay. Then I have a knot with two loose sides on each end. So what I do is I take one loose side from each end, and I tie it in a bow. And it's a little short, it's a little hard to do, but you can do it. Tighten it up like that, and then you could leave it like that. Or what I did in the first one is I took those second 2 ends and tied them in a knot as well, in a bow, so it looked kind of like, oops, okay, that wasn't planned, guys. Well, anyways, you get the gist. So it's going to look kind of like that. So you could have it where you leave the 2 ends, you could have it where you don't. I'll show you where mine is. Oops, it would help if mine was upside down. So my bow is right there. So it doesn't show up very well. I may eventually, when I do more, find a similar colored ribbon and do a nice big wired ribbon or something there. I don't know. You could add some ornaments. You could add whatever you wanted. But I just wanted to show you the basics of how to use the Brillo reusable wipes and this plate and this wreath form to make a wreath. And then the rest is up to you guys. You can even pick a different plate. You can pick whatever you want. So happy crafting, and I hope you guys found that helpful. And I'll be doing another video soon showing some of the things I'm selling. So happy crafting. Leave me a comment if you have any questions or anything you'd like to say. And love you guys all. Okay, happy holidays.